are you doing?
I'm trying to drive you to the stove.
Driving Miss Daisy is a 1989 drama film directed by Bruce Bursford that was based on a 1987 play by Alfred Urey. The movie would go on to find very high critical acclaim and large box office success. In 1948 Atlanta, Georgia, Daisy Worthen, played by Jessica Tandy, is a 72-year-old wealthy Jewish widow and retired schoolteacher. Living alone, except for her housekeeper Idella, played by Esther Roll, Daisy accidentally drives her 1946 Chrysler Windsor into her neighbor's yard. Daisy's 40-year-old son, Booley Worthen, played by Dan Aykroyd, alongside his wife Florine, played by Patti LuPone, tries to persuade his stubborn mother to let him hire a driver for her.
Fact is, you demolished that Chrysler all by yourself.
Think what you want. I know the truth.
The truth is, you just cost the insurance company $2,700. You're a terrible risk. Nobody's going to want to issue a policy after this.
You're just saying that to be hateful.
Okay. Yes, I am. I'm making it all up. Look out down the driveway. Every insurance company in America's out there waving their fountain pens trying to get you to sign up.
Booley eventually meets 60-year-old Hoke Colburn, played by Morgan Freeman. Booley decides to hire Hoke to drive his mother around and tells him that his job will be secure despite any misgivings she may have.
Well, it's a difficult situation.
Oh, yes, yes. Says she done gone round the bend a little bit. Well, now, that'll happen as they get on, you know.
Oh, no, she's all there.
Oh, that's good.
Too much there's the problem. Hoke, I want you to understand something.
Yes, sir?
My mother's a little high-strung. Now, the fact is, you'd be working for me. She can say anything she likes, but she can't fire you.
At first, Miss Daisy refuses to let Hoke drive her around, but eventually, he persuades her to allow him to drive her to the store and to synagogue.
I just drove your mama to the stove. Oh, you know, she flap around some, but she all right. She in the stove. No, Lord, she just looked out the window and seen me on the phone, so she probably gonna throw a fit right there at the checkout counter. Yeah, so you sure right about that. Only took me 6 days. Same time it took the law to make the world.
As the 1950s go by, Miss Daisy and Hoke spend time together, and she begins to appreciate him. While at the cemetery visiting the grave of her late husband, Hoke admits to Miss Daisy that he is unable to read.
I can't read, Miss Daisy.
Then how come I see you looking at the paper all the time?
Well, that's just it. I just be looking.
You know your letters, don't you?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I know my ABC is pretty good. I just can't read.
Stop saying that. You're making me mad. I taught some of the stupidest children God ever put on the face of this earth, and all of them could read well enough to find the name on the tombstone.
Well, yes, Miss.
The name is Bauer. Bauer. What does that B letter sound like?
B?
Of course. That's the last part. Bauer. What letter sounds like
Aura.
So the first letter is a
B.
And the last letter is a
Aura.
B-R. 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 Even sounds like Bauer, doesn't it?
It sure do, Miss Daisy.
By 1963, Idella passes away, and Hoke helps with the cooking. He also negotiates a higher salary for himself.
How does $65 a week sound?
Why? Sound pretty good, sir. Of course, 75 sound better, huh?
It sure does. Beginning this week.
That's mighty nice of you, Mr. Worthen. I sure appreciate it. So thank you. Mr. Worthen?
Uh-huh.
You ever have folks fighting over you?
Nope.
It sure feel good.
As the times change in the American South throughout the 1960s, Hoke and Miss Daisy grow closer as friends.
I stopped by the Krispy Kreme. Know you got to have your coffee in the morning.
How sweet of you, Hope.
Yeah. Shoot, we ain't had no good coffee around here since Idella passed.
I can fix her biscuits. And we both know how to make her fried chicken. But nobody can make Idella's coffee.
Ain't that the truth?
Idella was lucky.
Yes. I expect she was.
Alfred Urey based the story of Daisy and Hoke on his own grandmother, Lena G. Fox, who died in 1973 at the age of 96. She had a chauffeur named Will Coleman. During one scene in the film, black men are seen crossing railroad tracks in Atlanta. These men are descendants of the real Will Coleman that the Hoke character was based upon. Morgan Freeman originated the role of Hoke in the off-Broadway production of the play. The play won the Pulitzer Prize in Drama in 1988. Both Morgan Freeman and Dan Aykroyd would go on to portray the President of the United States in films during the 1990s. Dan Aykroyd in 1996's My Fellow Americans, and Morgan Freeman in 1998's Deep Impact. Katharine Hepburn, Bette Davis, Lucille Ball, Lauren Bacall, and Angela Lansbury were all considered for the role of Miss Daisy. The bombing of the temple in Atlanta took place in 1958, yet in this film it is shown as having occurred around 1966. Released into theaters December 15, 1989, Driving Miss Daisy had a very slow box office start. Number 16 the first week, number 17 the second week, number 16 the third week. It wasn't until word of mouth got around that this was a really great film that it finally hit number 1 at the box office 7 weeks into its release. It would gross a total of $145.8 million on a budget of just $7.5 million, making it a huge success and among the top 10 highest-grossing films of 1989 in the United States. This film would also find large success with VHS video rentals throughout late 1990 and into 1991. At the 62nd Academy Awards in March of 1990, this film won Best Picture, Best Makeup, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Jessica Tandy won the award for Best Actress. Morgan Freeman was nominated for Best Actor, and Dan Aykroyd was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. This movie was a rare example of a film that would win an Academy Award for Best Picture without also having been nominated for Best Director.
She, of course, was nominated for Driving Miss Daisy, the movie that apparently directed itself. And
Driving Miss Daisy was very highly acclaimed by critics.
And thanks to director Beresford's exquisite pacing of the film, we get to enjoy all of that. Driving Miss Daisy is truly something rare.
I completely agree with you. This is a rare film, and it's a wonderful film. And one of the things about it, as I was thinking back over it, even as you were reviewing it, is these two actors, Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy, neither one of them allow the slightest speck of sentimentality to get into their performances or into their characters. These are two people who are not, as you say, the kindly old black chauffeur and the sweet little southern lady. These are two people with very strong ideas about who they are and very strong ideas about the society that has shaped them, so that they behave in certain ways toward each other and change very slowly, but they do change.
They change in a slower way, not more than any movie characters that I can think of changing recently. I mean, you have people going through all sorts of, whole life transitions in the movies, from scene to scene frequently. It's very guarded. It's almost like this picture is going in slow motion in our movie minds, because we're saying if this is a standard play, this thing should be, there should be epiphanies every moment.
It's really true to life.
In 2015, however, The Hollywood Reporter polled hundreds of Academy members asking them to re-vote on past close-run decisions. Academy members indicated that if they had a second chance, they would award the 1990 Best Picture Oscar to the film My Left Foot instead of Driving Miss Daisy. In fact, in the first quarter of the 21st century, many critics look back at Driving Miss Daisy and think that it was overhyped by the public in 1989 and 1990. I disagree. I think this movie is great. I think that this film is clearly one of, if not Jessica Tandy's most memorable film performances. It was one of Morgan Freeman's finest and really helped kick his film stardom into high gear during the 1990s. This movie also grabbed Dan Aykroyd an Oscar nomination. Also, spoiler alert, with the exception of Idella and her wonderful chicken, none of the main characters die. So it doesn't become an overly sad film. It has sad moments, but not in a blubbering way like some movies would. I highly recommend the 1989 classic, Driving Miss Daisy.